Shalom, shalom, Israel. First, give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati 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 Yahweh Ba'Shem, Mashiach Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kakadash. All praise due. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Hope all is well. Peace and blessings to you all. I woke up with this on my spirit and sat down and wrote this lesson. So I pray it's edifying to your spirits because it very was for me this morning. There's a lot that I want to unpack in this, so I may not get it all in one video. So I'll try my best, but if not, I'll just split it in half. But basically what the spirit hit me with this morning when I woke up was basically the love of a brother. The love of a brother is really what hit me. And Shalom, Cap Drew, if you watching, King, spoke with him last night and he really helped my spirits with something that was had on my mind. Give me 1 second, man. Let me turn this off. Alright, so loud. I don't know if that air conditioner gonna be too loud, but truly last night I really felt in my spirit, what the love of a brother can do to a man, and a man of the Lord. The love that we have for one another is pretty special here. I've never felt it nowhere else because, man, here we got the love, and we always got the scripture to support everything that we do for one another and things like that. But I got my notes right here. If y'all see me looking down, it's a lot, but man, the love of brother, man, the Royal House of David, brotherly love is one of our pillars that we uphold. It's our standard. That's what we try to live by. That's what we want to hold at the highest regard. And just got some precepts to go along with this. Let's go to 1 John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3. And we're going to read verses 14 through 16. 1 John chapter 3, verses 14 through 16. It says, "We know that we have passed from death unto life because we love the brethren. And he that loveth not his brother abideth in death. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him." Verse 16, hereby perceive we the love of power, because he laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren. And, we've done this in our past lives, back in the time of the apostles and the time of Yahweh Shai, when we were being persecuted, we used to lay our lives down for each other, to protect one another, because, we were being persecuted throughout the land. And, basically anyone who was, seen or heard speaking of Yahweh Shai, the Mashiach, around was going to get persecuted, and most of them executed. Almost all of them executed. We know the apostles, the disciples, they died martyrs' deaths besides John. Peter was crucified upside down. James was stabbed in the stomach, thrown off a cliff. Some of the apostles were beheaded. And, even the Aqua, they were protecting the men who were preaching and doing the works. And even some of them got killed. We know a lot of us are in the body now. They're regenerated here. And that's true brotherly love that we had. Yahweh shall lay down his life for us, and we did the very same for him. When he was gone, we held it down, and we eventually gave our lives for it. Let's skip over to chapter 4. And let's read verses 20 and 21. 1 John chapter 4, starting at verse 20. It says, "If a man say, I love power, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the power whom he hath not seen?" Verse 21, "And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth power love his brother also." So that's just one of the commandments that we've been given, is just to love, our brothers. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And we're going to read verses 1 through 3. And then we're going to drop down to 13. So that's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can remove mountains, and have no charity, I am nothing. Verse 3, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. So Paul is saying, you can do everything in the book, but if you don't have the love, it's all for naught. It's nothing. If you don't have that charity, because that's all charity means is love. If you don't have that love, it has no value. You can't help a brother out, and you don't put no love behind it. If you're just doing it just to do it, like, oh, here, get out my face type of thing, or doing something and trying to get something in return later, that's not love. Let's drop down to verse 13. 1 Corinthians 13 and 13. It says, and now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. Man, because there's nothing greater than love. And that's all Paul's trying to tell us right here, that love, they always say love conquereth all. It says love, Scripture says love covers a multitude of sins. Love is just so powerful. And, it's imperative of us to love one another because, we lost that through the curses. And we can get that in Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So the eye was evil towards the brother. And if you read verse 57, it's also the women for the man. So that love for one another was just completely broken off, through the curses. And, in the Southern Kingdom specifically, our brotherly love was lost the most. Northern Kingdom, they still got, they towns, they still got the, they spots where, even some villages, some cities, Northern Kingdom completely to the T. But for Southern Kingdom, it's at almost zero, and that change of the brotherly love between Southern Kingdom to Southern Kingdom, and even Southern Northern Kingdom, and Northern Kingdom to Northern Kingdom, that's going to change because it's going to grow and become stronger with us. It's got to start with us. Like Katie always says, we the remnant, we the small seed right now. We the very small remnant, and everything we doing everything from the ground floor. And we have to repurpose everything on this planet to the way the Most High wants it. And we're going to do just that. And, because it's us, the love that we have for one another is so profound. It's so unheard of because it's non-existent in this world. We hear about black on black crime all the time. And, Northern Kingdom, killing the Northern Kingdom, it's just so bad. But not only for the men, the women as well. And this is where we're going to jump into this lesson, because I'm going to break this lesson up into 3 different parts. Speaking about the love, women have for women, the men for the men, and then the Northern and Southern Kingdom, the relationship between women and women as far as how we're supposed to be. The Aqua are supposed to love one another. The kings, the ox, they're supposed to love one another. And then Northern and Southern Kingdom, we also got to love one another. The princesses, they all got to get along, and the norm in our society is that, I know for me growing up, I'm only 21, and I've seen it in my own life, women, they only be friends for a few years, then the situation may happen and they fall out, and now they beefing, and now they don't like each other at all no more. I know plenty of people who didn't have come and go as friends. I had a female friend who, she couldn't keep a friend. Couldn't keep a female friend at all. Just always something happened, but that's the norm in our society, It's sad, but it's true. Female just don't make good friends a lot. But that's all because of the curses. The curse is so strong on us. Let's get a precept real quick in the Apocrypha. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 26, and we'll read verse 6. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 6. It says, "But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all." So, it says a grief of heart and sorrow is, women that's jealous of one another. And that's all we got in this society. It's just women who may be envying another woman, or it's something I didn't hurt them. It can be the most simplest things that they beef over, or the most things that just make no sense at all. It's like, what's the point? Like, it's child's things. It's child's play. It's kitty little fights, and girls will be mad over one situation that probably could have been fixed. They would just sit down and just talk, as adults, or, but that's just how this world is now. I mean, now we know it's all because of the curses, but all this about to change, because our princesses, they supposed to be cohesive. And if you go on Edom Online and look up that word cohesive, it says of or causing the quality of adhering together, capable of sticking together. See, that's how our women supposed to be. They're supposed to be cohesive, man. Because women that get together and they put their hands on something like a project or a task, like, man, it's crazy, amazing what you can see they can get done. The women in the ancient world, because men was supposed to, was able to have multiple wives. Women, they can build. They hold a household together. The king is, of course, he's the head of the household. He keeps it all together. But for the children, it takes all the women to do that. It says it takes a village to raise a child, and when you got more than one woman in the house working together cohesively, they taking care of one another, they fill in the spots where the other woman probably can't do, and you have that just a strong household, man. When you got a woman in the house, especially if there's more than one woman in the house, they can really hold things together, because the king, he can't do everything. Sometimes the king may be away. Who gonna hold the house down while you gone? Who gonna take care of the kids? Because the king, there's other things he got to take care of. Not saying he's not gonna take care of his kids, but once they babies and everything, that's really where the woman come through. But the love, Scripture always speaks about the love of brethren, but it's also, the love of sisters as well. The unity and the love the sisters have together is very important. Like I said, in this society, it's so broken. Think about the reality TV shows, Real Housewives of Atlanta and everything like that. All you see is 2/3 females, bitches throwing glasses, alcohol, wine, flipping tables, arguing, cussing each other out, and just beefing for no reason, or over a man, or some jealousy type of thing, or envy. That's what this world portrays. That's what they want our women to do, is to beef with one another, or try to be boss bitches and hot girls and all this other type of stuff. That's not a description. That's not what the Most High wants for his daughters. And there's no love in that. Every time you can turn on one of them shows, you're gonna see somebody fight in at least one episode. Almost guaranteed. That's just the total opposite of how our princesses and our wives are gonna be, and how they even are now. It's a blessing to see the things that they do, and what we hear that they do now every day. They changing that narrative, within the group. But once the Most High turns us up and he brings that kingdom, to true flourishing and to manifest in the physical, our wife gonna change that narrative of what Israel, Israelite women, how they act. But that'll be concluding the lesson for women. We're gonna transition to the men. King David, he puts it best. He put it best when he said, "Without the brotherhood, we have nothing." If we don't have the brotherhood, nothing will work. If we don't have that love for one another, nothing works. The brotherhood got to be solid. He emphasizes that all the time. And let's go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 2. Because Peter, which King David is, he spoke on the same things. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 17. It says, honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear power, and honor the king. Love the brotherhood is what I want to take out of this. Loving the brotherhood, that's the standard. We got to have that. We got to have it. It's an absolute must. How we supposed to love one another. Let's get Psalms 133:1. This is one of the pillars in the brotherhood that we uphold. This is a precept that, man, we hold this to the highest regard. And I'm not saying we don't hold other ones just as high, but this is one that we just really, really love. This is Psalms 133:1. It says, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Man, because the unity of brethren is, man, it ain't nothing greater. And spirit hidden right now. I'm gonna get another precept. Ecclesiastes chapter 25 and verse 1. And the Apocrypha Ecclesiasticus 25 and 1. It says, in three things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before power and men. So he said these three things are something that men and the power see as a beautiful thing. The very first one, he says the unity of brethren. 2, the love of neighbors. And 3, a man and a wife that agree together. The Most High and men. It ain't no men on the planet that don't see this as a beautiful thing. I mean, when you got brothers who really love one another and they really uniting, man, you got brothers, sisters, man, that can really just love each other. It's the love of neighbors. And a man and a wife that agree together. You know, in this world, all you got is baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, and things like that. You know, in the kingdom, that's gonna be unheard of. We're not gonna have that. Every woman gonna be taken care of. All kids will have a father figure in the household. You know, we're not gonna be like the world in no way. But if you want an example of how a man, you know, two brothers supposed to love one another, you can look at the relationship that King David and Jonathan had. And Jonathan, he was Saul's son. And the relationship that these two brothers had, man, it was very profound to read about and study, because that's unheard of in today's world. This is 1 Samuel chapter 18. 1 Samuel 18, we're going to read verses 1 through 4. It says, and it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, unto Saul, that the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would not let him go no more to his father's house. Then David and Jonathan made a covenant, because he loved him as his own soul. Man, so Jonathan loved David as he loved himself. That's the second greatest commandment Yahweh gave, and this is before the law of liberty. This is during the time of the law of Moses, but even within the law, it spoke about brotherly love. Let's read verse 4. It says, and Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was upon him, and gave it to David, and his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. So this man Jonathan literally gave David the shirt off his back. He gave him everything he had. His sword, his armor, his arrow, his bow, and that was his protection. He gave everything to David. He literally gave that man the shirt off his back, gave him all his clothes, he gave him everything. Out of pure love, out of pure brotherly love. Let's get let's get Matthew. We're going to come back to Samuel. We'll come to 2 Samuel when we get out of this. This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 41. Matthew 5 and 41. It says, and whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. So Yahweh is saying, go the extra mile for a brother. Don't just do as he asks. Brother asks for $1. If you got $2, shit, give him $2. Brother asks for $5, you able to give him 10, give him 10. That's the type of love Yahweh was trying to teach us about. Like, try to go the extra mile for a brother. Don't just, just do the bare minimum. And of course, if you ain't got it, sometimes you ain't got it. Or, brother asks for a ride somewhere, you take him there, hey, shit, ask him, do he need a ride back too? That's going the extra mile for a brother, I mean, do what you can. Don't make it to where now you in struggling too. But, whatever you can do for a brother, if you can do more, do more. That's the type of things Yahweh Shah was telling us to do. Go the extra mile for one another. So let's go back to Samuel. Well, we're going to be in 2 Samuel now. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 1. And at this point in time, David had just learned about Saul and Jonathan being killed in battle. And David is mourning for Jonathan and Saul. So let's read 2 Samuel chapter 1, and we'll read verse 26. And this is what David spoke about of his brother Jonathan that just died. He says, I am distressed for thee. Verse 26. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of a woman. So Jonathan, he loved David more than women did. Not in a sexual way or like attraction way, but like just out of pure love, it's just that brotherly love that you just can't explain, man. Even Saul, his father, hated David, envied David. He still never switched up on David. He loved David as his own self, as the scripture said. That's true brotherly love right there. He didn't care about what his father said about David or what, he did to David. Jonathan always held David in the highest regard as a brother. And that's the type of love we got to have for one another. That give the shirt off my back type of love. That I go to war for you, I go to bat for you. And now we know we have that now, which is amazing. Because we turning back to how it used to be. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shah. So that'll conclude the lesson on, for the men aspect. But switching over to the two kingdoms, our love for each other, speaking of the northern and southern kingdom, it's been restored through this brotherhood. I'm so blessed to know I have northern kingdom brethren who I love, southern kingdom brethren who I love, northern kingdom sisters, and southern kingdom sisters. These two kingdoms now, through the royal house of David, we become one again. And it's all because of Mashiach Yahweh Shah gave his life. It was his job to bring the kingdoms back because he was the one who caused it to split in the first place when he was King Solomon. And all praises that we've now become one. So, like I said, the two kingdoms been brought together now. And since we back together under the same tree, now it's time to get that love back. Because, Katie in his recent lesson, he hit on the Samaritan woman and how she was surprised that they were even speaking, that Yahweh was speaking to her in John chapter 4. And we can get that real quick. Let's go there real quick. John 4 and let's start at verse 6. Verse 5, John 4 and 5. All right. It says, then he, speaking of Yahweh Shai, then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar or Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there, and Yahweh Shai, therefore being wearied in his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. So Katie's he taught us that the 6th hour meant is about high noon. Verse 7. There cometh the woman of Samaria to draw water, and Yahweh said unto her, give me to drink. So this woman of Samaria was a northern kingdom sister, and she comes to Yahweh and he asks her for something to drink. Verse 8. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Verse 9. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, asketh drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. So this woman is surprised that Yahweh is speaking to her because she's a northern kingdom sister, and northern kingdom and southern kingdom, we had split and we didn't like each other no more. Our love for each other had been split in half. We hated each other. We didn't deal with each other no more. And she's surprised that Yahweh is speaking to her. And why you talking to me? I'm a Samaritan. Why you speaking to me? Just to show you how much the love was lost between us. But all praises that Yahweh Shai, he brought us back together, and we live in that every day in the royal house of David. I want to get some scripture. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. Isaiah chapter 11, and let's get verse 13. It says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. So this is a future prophecy speaking in the kingdom. And, we live in this now. We don't envy one another. We don't vex one another anymore. But, it's going to be on a much larger scale once we multiply and we grow as a people. Because we just a very small remnant right now. And we just exuding these things now. So then once we grow and multiply, the standard has already been set. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. And we're going to read verses 15 through 22. So just bear with me. I'm almost finished. Ezekiel chapter 37. And we're going to read verses 15 through 22. This is, of course, as we know, the Valley of Dry Bones. Very well known prophecy and vision. Let's start at verse 15. Speaking about the sticks. The word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, right appointed for Judah, and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick, and right appointed for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions. And join them one to another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. So we know these two sticks represent the 12 tribes. Mind you, at this time we had been split. So the Most High told Ezekiel, these two sticks that I just, that's right here. Take one right appointed Judah, take another one right appointed Ephraim, and put them together. In verse 18, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto you, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? Say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the sticks of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand. And the sticks whereon thou writest shall be thine hand before their eyes, shall be in thine hand before their eyes. Verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall no more be two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all. So, this prophecy is speaking on the unity of the tribes being put back together. The tribes being unified and brought back into one branch, one tree. Because we were split in half, but now we getting brought back to being one. We all a family now. The love that we have here in the royal house of David is to the point where, the brothers, we say all the time, man, your kids are my kids are your kids. That's the type of love we have for one another. And we just going to try to uphold that. We are upholding that. And we setting that standard now. So when the kingdom comes and Yahweh comes back, everything is ready and in place, because he said we're going to be without spot or wrinkle. We're going to have all these things in place and uphold to the highest standard, because now we want kingdom. We want body. We want people. We want house. That's all we are. We won now. All praises due. I just want to get my last precept right here. Very known and very simple. It's very direct and straight to the point. This is Hebrews chapter 13 and verse 1. It says, let brotherly love continue. Let brotherly love continue. So, with that, that'll conclude this lesson. I pray that you was edified and that it hit your spirits as much as it hit mine. Double honors to King David. Peace and blessings to you all, Royal House of David. All praises due. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Israel. Peace and blessings to you all. The water for listening.